This could possibly be one of the most shocking revelations, exposing the corruption within the federal government and justifying a lot of what Donald Trump has said. From the Daily Mail, FBI offered British spy Christopher Steele $1 million cash to prove his dirty dossier allegations that Trump was colluding with Russia to win the election, but he couldn't. Top bureau analyst tells federal court. Let me stress that again for you. This could be one of the most shocking revelations in this country's history. And I mean it. This goes way beyond Watergate. The FBI offered $1 million cash to a foreign national to discredit an individual running for office. I got to say that one more time. This is huge. The FBI offered cash to a foreign national to present information that would destroy the candidacy of Donald Trump. It wasn't true. Did the FBI offer any cash to prove the contents of the Hunter Biden laptop? No, they quashed it. The FBI is unbearably corrupt. It is staring you in the face. Now, there are a lot of good agents. That's true. I think most of them probably. You know, when it comes to the FBI, the majority of them aren't the D.C. bureau who are engaged in this corruption, but this is exposed at the core of their leadership, at the core of the organization in the federal government. They are engaged in seditious activity. I will stress that again. And in my opinion, this is, man, what would you call this? Treason? No, I guess not treason, because treason is providing aid to an enemy of the country. I think formally is a legal charge. This would be a seditious conspiracy. The FBI going to a British spy saying, we'll give you $1 million to prove allegations against Trump. They were fake. So what is this? They're trying to buy dirt to discredit a presidential candidate? The Daily Mail reports a witness in the trial of a source for the infamous Steele dossier testified the FBI offered ex-British intelligence officer Christopher Steele up to $1 million to back up claims he included in his reports. Brian Auten, an FBI supervisory analyst, testified the Bureau made the offer in 2016 as agents were seeking to verify information in the dossier, which included salacious, unverified allegations against the future president. Auten testified that Steele didn't get the money because he was unable to prove the allegations, CNN reported. The revelation about the substantial financial incentive being offered came in the trial of Igor Danchenko, one of Steele's primary sources, who was accused of lying to the FBI when questioned about his information. He was indicted on 5 counts of making false statements to the FBI. Special counsel John Durham, who was appointed by Trump, is prosecuting the case in Alexandria, Alexandria, Virginia courtroom. In Ann, is it a typo? His years-long probe has resulted in a single conviction of FBI lawyer Kevin Kleinsmith for doctoring an email used to justify surveillance. Yo, I'm ready to. I'm pissed. I want lawsuits. I want every legal means, courts, whatever you can do. An FBI lawyer doctored evidence to justify this attack against a presidential candidate's campaign. We're now learning the FBI was trying to pay a foreign spy. Wow, man. Steele, an ex-MI6 intelligence officer, compiled the dossier as a series of dispatches. He had been a paid FBI informant. Prosecutors said Danchenko, a Russian analyst and researcher based in Virginia, fabricated one source and hid another source of information as the FBI rushed in the weeks before the 2016 election to confirm information in the dossier. They accused him of lying to the FBI when he was questioned about the information he provided. They also pointed to an area of harm. The FBI relied in part on information. FBI relied in part of information. There's a lot of typos here, guys. In the dossier to obtain warrants for phone and email surveillance of former Trump foreign policy advisor Carter Page, a U.S. citizen. They were probing an alleged conspiracy between the Trump campaign and Russia in an investigation that would burst into the headlines. And it was all fake. And for years, we had to deal with this because the FBI is corrupt. Because the FBI is corrupt. Because the FBI is corrupt. There are a lot of good FBI agents. And as I stated earlier, most of them. And these agents are blowing the whistle and calling this out. Fix it. You can do it. If you are here in the in the Bureau and you're seeing this, you can bring it to members of Congress. Be brave. Project Veritas also exists. Page was never charged with a crime. That's amazing. Those lives mattered, prosecutor Michael Kelty said, because the FBI presented inaccurate information to a foreign intelligence surveillance court. Prosecutors say Danchenko lied when he told agents he got information from Sergei Milyan, who had been head of the Russian-American Chamber of Commerce. But they said there isn't evidence the two ever spoke and pointed to phone records. This case is about protecting the functions and integrity of our institutions, Kelty added. This case is about protecting the function and integrity of our government and government institutions, said Durham. Durham's prosecutors focus on the treatment of Page, an area that has long been a focus of Trump and congressional Republicans, and which featured a damning report by the Justice Department's IG. Danchenko's lawyer countered that his client had been truthful and that the FBI asked his client vague questions during the 2016 meeting. At one point, Durham asked Auten why the DOJ opened its Russia probe in the summer of 2016. But his answer cut against Trump's repeated claim that the probe was founded on a dirty dossier. Instead, his answer pointed to the origin of the probe, which has been repeatedly reported, a boozy encounter in a hotel bar in May 2016 between foreign Trump campaign advisor George Papadopoulos and an Australian diplomat. After the aide said the Kremlin had dirt on Hillary Clinton, the diplomat provided the information to the U.S. And maybe they did. And what does that mean? It's all one big hoax. Donald Trump did not collude with Russia. No amount of investigating has ever backed that claim up. But I will tell you this. The FBI offered British spy Christopher Steele $1 million. $1 million. FBI whistleblower claims center on mystery Hunter Biden evidence Grassley reveals. So you may have heard this. An FBI whistleblower came out and said they were instructed not to investigate Hunter Biden. It's amazing. A man who, in the laptop, we can see is committing a series of crimes. I mean, just outright. I mean, what? Smoking crack is not illegal if it's only on video? You have video evidence of him with hookers and crack and all that stuff, and it's nothing. Doesn't warrant a search warrant? No. Here we go. The FBI investigation led by Senator Chuck Grassley involving former Bureau agent Timothy Thibault, centers on secretive evidence about Hunter Biden that has not yet been made public, the Washington Examiner has learned. Thibault, the former FBI assistant special agent in charge of the Washington field office, who left the Bureau in late August, shut down a line of inquiry into now President Joe Biden's son in October 2020, despite some of the details being known to be true at the time, according to whistleblower allegations provided to Grassley. The senator says the Justice Department and FBI investigation into Hunter may now be hobbled because of it. We stand before unprecedented corruption. When the FBI is trying to, bribe foreign officials? What do you want to call it? To produce dirt on a political rival. And when evidence emerges of serious malfeasance in the Biden family, they ignore it. Don't you get it? When the crime is right in front of your face, or the evidence of crime, they say don't. When there is no evidence, they say, can we pay him for it? Manufacturing their cases. They say, although Grassley's office wouldn't be drawn on what this specific whistleblower evidence is, the senator's office told the Washington Examiner that disclosures were not directly connected with Hunter Biden's infamous laptop hard drive, nor with a September 2020 report Grassley released with Senator Ron Johnson on Hunter's overseas business dealings, nor with former Hunter business associate Tony Bobulinski, who had recently reemerged in the media spotlight. The comments from Grassley's office came the same day it was leaked to multiple outlets that the FBI believes it has collected enough evidence to charge Hunter with crimes related to tax fraud and lying about his drug use when purchasing a firearm. The decision on whether to charge the president's son rests with Delaware U.S. Attorney David Weiss. We'll see. Grassley revealed in July that whistleblowers had told him Thibault had ordered closed an avenue of additional derogatory Hunter Biden reporting in October 2020, even though all of the reporting was either verified or verifiable via criminal search warrants. Thibault's role in the FBI has come back into the spotlight thanks to an interview Bob Ulinsky gave to Tucker Carlson on Fox News this week. Bob Ulinsky told Carlson he believes Thibault ran interference in his own dealings with the Bureau, saying the agent promised to follow up with his lawyers after his October 2020 meetings with the FBI, but that Thibault and the Bureau never did. The FBI declined on Friday to comment to the Washington Examiner on Bob Ulinsky's allegations. The Washington Examiner previously reported on the trove of Hunter Biden-linked messages and business documents from Bob Ulinsky, which he said he handed over to the Bureau ahead of the 2020 election. Thibault released a statement in August through his lawyers who said he was not fired, not forced to retire, and not asked to retire. There have also been allegations that Mr. Thibault took certain actions in investigations for partisan political reasons. Mr. Thibault welcomes any investigation of these false allegations regardless of his retirement. He firmly believes that any investigation will conclude his supervision, leadership, and decision-making were not impacted by political bias or partisanship of any kind. I want to pause and give you a lesson. We talked about this on Timcast IRL just a couple days ago. Drew Miller, the CEO of Fortitude Ranch, was on the show. And he said he trusts the U.S. government to not have biological weapons production facilities or weapons facilities. However, we do know that there are biological research facilities in Ukraine, and the U.S. is protecting them and concerned that Russia could get their hands on them. We do know that Hunter Biden helped secure funding through third parties that went to some of this gain-of-function research. And we know that Fauci and the NIAID was involved with the Wuhan virology lab. Drew Miller said, he doesn't believe there are weapons, biological weapons facilities. Define weapon. Is a padlock a weapon? Serious question. What if you tie it to a shoelace and start swinging it around and throwing it at people? Is it a weapon now? Yes. Is a knife a weapon? Of course you'd say, hold on, I'm talking about a steak knife. Is it a weapon? Are you handing someone a weapon? When the waiter serves you steak, are they giving you a weapon? Technically, yes, I guess, right? A knife is a weapon. But a steak knife is not intended to be a weapon, but it can easily be used as one. And there are some knives, a steak knife might be better. What about a buck knife? Is that a weapon? I guess technically. And that's the point. That's the lesson here. Understanding how they use language. So when it comes to the biological weapons research facilities, do they exist? The answer is no. Semantics. Now, there are facilities in which the U.S. is supporting the, gain-of-function research, which makes pathogens substantially more deadly. Well, they say their intent is to study them and then produce vaccines. Okay. Well, my intent on making a knife is to cut my steak. Can someone then take it and use it as a weapon? Yes. Can it be distributed as a weapon? Yes. Can it be released to be used as a weapon? Yes, it can be. Semantics. Which brings me here. With everything they're saying about Hunter Biden and what he was really doing, it's all semantics. Hunter Biden did nothing wrong. He wasn't actually securing research funding for weapons. Semantics. They come out and say it's a conspiracy theory. Hold on. Don't look at me. I am not prescribing intent. I will not pretend to know the intention of these individuals, only what their actions were and will result in. Gain-of-function research was done. The result? Extremely dangerous pathogens which could be released in wartime as a weapon. Fact. This is what we see now with all the Hunter Biden stuff. Understand how they will manipulate language. He was not fired, not forced to retire, not asked to retire. Okay. What did they not say? He wasn't fired. We know that. He wasn't forced to retire, and he wasn't asked to retire. So what does that mean? Well, one thing he didn't say in that sentence was it wasn't suggested that maybe retirement is a good idea, right? It wasn't pointed out that maybe for legal reasons, his lawyer said, you better retire now. They don't tell you the full picture. They want you to make assumptions. Look what they say here. Mr. Thibault took actions that were not for, they say, he welcomes any investigation of these false allegations, regardless of his retirement. He firmly believes any investigation will conclude his supervision, leadership, and decision-making were not impacted by political bias or partisanship of any kind. Secretly, they could be. But he could make sure that he crossed every T and dotted every J, lowercase j. And then he can say it wasn't political bias. He can say, we had this document in the media. And there it is. You see, the media can be politically biased, put out information. These FBI agents can then say, it wasn't political bias. We were just reading the news. And that's your death spiral, my friends. Biden insists his troubled son Hunter is now on the straight and narrow. As the president shrugs off reports, feds have enough evidence to charge him with tax and gun crimes by saying, I didn't know anything about it. We'll wrap it up here. Hunter Biden. There's enough evidence, they say, to charge him. They should. But this is what they're saying now, and it's kind of funny. They're saying this may be coming. Hunter Biden may be charged, so they can claim the FBI isn't biased. That way, when they come after Trump, they'll say, what do you mean? It's not partisan. They went after Hunter Biden. We're talking. And Hunter Biden's going to get a slap on the wrist for some minor tax evasion, and then Trump will be barred from holding office. That's the game they'll play. I want to talk about one more thing here. A viral story of a voicemail leaked about Joe Biden begging his son to go to rehab and to get help. And I haven't talked about it. I haven't talked about it because it's not news. It's private and it's personal. And we know Hunter Biden's a bad dude. But there is nothing wrong with a dad begging his son to get help. When I saw that story, I said, good for him, man. I'm glad he talked to his son and tried. And he says his son's on the straight and narrow. Straight and narrow. I don't believe that he's not crooked, but maybe not doing drugs, fine. I don't think that's a smear. And I think that's, if you want to bring it up and mention it's evidence that Joe knows his son is a crackhead who's doing all this hooker BS and all this bad stuff, fine. But I don't see it as a smear. Now, truth be told, a lot of people weren't bringing it up as a smear, but some people were. They were talking about the failing nature of Biden's fatherhood and presidency and all of that stuff, but that ain't the right one. Not that story. No, because that just makes you look callous. It makes you look cold. Let me put it that way. Here's what I see. I see a corrupt, weaponized DOJ, and it's been this way for a long time, and it's probably been this way longer than any of us realize. It's probably been weaponized longer than we've been adults. It's probably been weaponized longer than we've been alive. And now it's staring us in the face. That's the reality. How do you stop it? If the FBI is willing to offer a what I would call, in my opinion, a bribe to a foreign spy to produce dirt on a political rival, our country is in serious trouble. Because how do you get someone in to weed out the corruption if the corrupt are in government with the powers of law enforcement actively working against us, the American people? I want you to understand that. What the FBI did here was an assault on you and me and the American people. They need to be criminally charged for this and arrested. We shouldn't tolerate it. Because I'll make it simple for you. You might argue, no, Tim, they offer informants money. Full stop. This was digging up dirt. This was a quid pro quo. This was the FBI going to a foreign spy saying, we will give you cash if you can prove Trump is dirty. When it came to Hunter Biden, and there's hard evidence the Bidens are dirty, they said, ignore it. It's staring you in the face. Now, what do? We need overwhelming voter force. The midterms are here. Early voting is starting. Vote by mail is coming. You better go and knock on every door and offer up every simple reason. Gas prices. Tell everybody we got to get the gas prices down. I don't know about that stuff. They say, well, Donald Trump's crooked. I don't know, man. All I know is we got to get the gas prices down. And they'll say, you would vote for Trump. Look, man, gas prices. You may encounter some Democrats being like, a haram party. Say, I don't know, man. If they say, but Donald Trump did that or otherwise, you can be like, I'm not voting for Trump right now. It's a midterms. They might say, well, the Republicans don't believe in elections or whatever. And it's like, look, I don't know, man. All I know is that Joe Biden said he wanted to shut down fossil fuels. He said it. And like, I don't, and gas prices are really high. The Republicans want to start, producing more fuel and get our gas prices down. And that's the most important thing. Don't get confused. A lot of people may say the real issue is this, that, or otherwise. It's the economy, stupid. Go door to door. Tell everybody what matters most to you, first and foremost. Be honest, have integrity, and convince them why they should register to vote and they should vote. But I tell you, man, it's gas prices because it hits everybody. Gas prices, man. The economy, it's in shambles. Tell them this. Here you go. Key inflation metric doubles expectations with core prices still astronomically high. We need people to get out and vote. We need to fix the economy. We need to weed out the corruption. This is how we do it. This stupid rioting and protest, that hurt BLM. January 6th stuff, that hurt Trump. It hurt him. We don't want that. I just want prices to come down. We want America to be more self-reliant. We want to stop the corruption. We want to end the foreign conflicts, but these warmongers will not be satisfied. Not until they blow up more kids. Too many of them, says Obama. Too many kids. Got to blow them up. My fellow Americans, there are too many kids. Got to blow them up. That's all they do all day, every day, huh? Trump's no saint. But I'll tell you right now, it's the economy, stupid. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 4 p.m. over at youtube.com/Timcast. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.